Hello, you relentless dreamer, burning with the fire to conquer the greatest heights life has to offer. Pause for just a moment and ask yourself a piercing question. What's truly standing in the way of your biggest ambitions? Is it the fear of failure gnawing at your confidence? The weight of doubt holding you back? Or, perhaps more shockingly, could it be the small victories you've already claimed that are quietly lulling you into complacency? Today, we're embarking on a transformative journey, diving deep into a profound lesson from one of the world's most iconic visionaries, Bill Gates, the man who turned a fledgling startup into the global empire of Microsoft, becoming one of the richest and most influential billionaires in history. He once said, "Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose." These words are a thunderbolt, a stark warning that shakes us awake. They remind us that the greatest threat to our progress isn't always failure. It's the seductive trap of success itself, the dangerous illusion that we've already figured it all out. Join me as we unravel the wisdom behind Gates's words, explore his extraordinary journey, and uncover the secrets to staying hungry, avoiding complacency, and building a legacy that echoes through time. Imagine this. You've just achieved something monumental, a business deal that changes your trajectory, a product launch that goes viral, or a personal milestone that leaves you beaming with pride. Your heart pounds with exhilaration, your confidence surges, and for a fleeting moment, you feel invincible, as if the world is yours to command. That's the exact moment Bill Gates warns us about. Success, he says, is a lousy teacher because it tricks even the sharpest minds into believing they've cracked the code, that they're untouchable, that the path ahead will always be smooth. But here's the brutal truth. The instant you stop learning, adapting, and pushing forward, you've already started to lose. Let's travel back to 1975, when a 20-year-old Bill Gates made a decision most thought was sheer madness. He dropped out of Harvard, one of the world's most prestigious universities, to chase a vision that seemed impossible, to put a computer on every desk and in every home. Alongside his childhood friend Paul Allen, he founded Microsoft in a cramped garage, armed with nothing but a dream, a knack for coding, and an unyielding drive. The early days were a grind. Cash was tight. Investors scoffed, and their software was far from perfect. Their first big break came with a contract to build a basic interpreter for the Altair 8800, a primitive computer. But when the deadline approached, their code was riddled with bugs. Gates and Allen worked through sleepless nights, debugging line by line, barely delivering on time. That was just the start. Microsoft's early products, like Windows 1.0 in 1985, were panned by critics as slow and clunky. Years later, Windows ME in 2000 became a notorious flop, plagued by crashes and user frustration. Yet Gates didn't let these setbacks define him. Each failure was a lesson, a chance to refine, to rebuild, to come back stronger. By 1995, Microsoft launched Windows 95, a revolutionary operating system that transformed personal computing, propelled Microsoft to global dominance, and solidified Gates as a billionaire icon. But what if Gates had let his early successes make him complacent? Imagine if, after the triumph of Windows 95, he'd leaned back, assuming Microsoft was untouchable. The company could have crumbled under the weight of new challenges. Apple's comeback with sleek designs, the explosive rise of the internet, or the antitrust lawsuits that threatened to dismantle Microsoft in the late 1990s. Gates knew better. He understood that success is a fleeting moment, not a permanent state. When Netscape's browser challenged Microsoft's dominance, Gates didn't rest on his laurels. He launched Internet Explorer, integrated it into Windows, and turned the tide, making Microsoft a titan in the Internet age. He didn't let the glow of past victories blind him. He used them as fuel to conquer bigger battles. History is littered with cautionary tales of giants who fell because they believed they couldn't lose. Take Kodak, the undisputed king of film photography for decades. In the 1970s, they invented the digital camera, a groundbreaking leap. But their leaders were so confident in their film empire that they ignored the new technology. When the world went digital, Kodak was left bankrupt, a relic of a bygone era. Or look at Nokia, the mobile phone juggernaut of the 1990s, whose dominance seemed unshakable. Yet, when smartphones emerged, Nokia clung to outdated systems, and within a few years, it was overtaken by Apple and Samsung, fading into obscurity. These stories echo Gates' warning. Success can seduce you into thinking you're invincible, but in a world that changes at lightning speed, complacency is a death sentence. Gates himself said, "Innovation is moving at a scarily fast pace. If you don't adapt, you're done." What makes Gates extraordinary isn't just his wealth or intellect, it's his relentless curiosity, his refusal to rest on his achievements. He's not just a businessman, he's a lifelong learner, famous for devouring dozens of books each year on topics from science to history to economics. He once said, "Every dollar spent on education is an investment, not an expense." Even as one of the world's richest men, Gates maintains the mindset of a beginner, hungry, curious, and always ready to learn from mistakes. Look at how he handled Microsoft's failures. When Windows ME flopped, slammed by users and critics for its instability, Gates didn't deflect blame. He listened to the feedback, especially from his most unhappy customers, because, as he said, your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. Microsoft analyzed the issues, retooled their approach, and in 2001 launched Windows XP, an operating system so iconic it powered computers worldwide for over a decade. This wasn't luck. It was the result of a mindset that refused to let past success breed arrogance. Gates's humility and hunger for growth didn't stop at Microsoft. In 2000, he stepped down as CEO to focus on the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, tackling global challenges like poverty, disease, and education. Even in philanthropy, he applies the same principle: learn from setbacks, adapt, and keep pushing forward. His foundation's work on vaccines and global health, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, shows how he turned lessons from past failures, like the world's unpreparedness for pandemics, which he warned about in a 2015 TED Talk, into impactful action. He predicted the risks, learned from the world's shortcomings, and invested billions to address them, proving that his mindset of growth extends beyond business to changing the world. Now, let's make this personal. Think about your own journey. Have you tasted success recently? Maybe you've launched a side hustle that's gaining traction, nailed a presentation that earned you praise, or hit a personal goal that made you feel unstoppable. Celebrate those wins. You've earned them. But don't stop there. Ask yourself, am I still learning? Am I preparing for the next challenge? Or am I basking in the glow, assuming I've got it all figured out? Picture a young entrepreneur who launches an e-commerce store. The first month brings in thousands of dollars, and the thrill of success feels electric. But then, competitors emerge with lower prices or better marketing. Sales dip. If that entrepreneur lets early success breed complacency, they'll lose everything. But if they follow Gates's example, they'll dive into the data. Why are customers leaving? What features do they want? They'll seek feedback, test new strategies, and keep innovating. That's how fleeting wins become lasting empires. Success isn't the finish line. It's just a checkpoint. To become a billionaire, or simply the best version of yourself, you need to stay humble. Gates teaches us to ask daily, what new skill am I learning? How am I improving? Invest in yourself relentlessly. Read a book that challenges your thinking. Gates recommends titles like Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari or The Better Angels of Our Nature by Steven Pinker. Take an online course in marketing, coding, or leadership on platforms like Coursera or Udemy. Connect with mentors who push you to grow. Reach out to someone on LinkedIn, attend a networking event, or join a community of like-minded dreamers. Every small step you take today builds the foundation for monumental success tomorrow. Beyond humility, Gates's journey shows the power of calculated risk. He said, "To win big, you sometimes have to take big risks." Dropping out of Harvard was a gamble. Betting on personal computers when they were a niche market was a gamble. But these weren't reckless moves. They were rooted in vision, research, and preparation. Gates studied the market, learned from early failures, and took bold steps when the time was right. You can do the same. Maybe you're hesitant to start that business, pitch that idea, or invest in a new venture. Yes, there's risk, but there's also reward. Research thoroughly, plan carefully, and then leap. Every billionaire has faced moments of uncertainty. What sets them apart is their courage to act despite it. Persistence is the other half of the equation. Gates said, "Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. Microsoft didn't become a tech giant overnight. It took over a decade of grinding, tweaking, and learning from mistakes. When Windows 1.0 flopped, Gates didn't quit. He iterated with Windows 2.0, then 3.0, and finally Windows 95, which changed the game. Your journey will be similar. You might not see massive results this month or this year, but if you commit to consistent effort, writing that business plan, learning that skill, networking with that contact, you'll be astonished at what you can achieve in a decade. Think about where you want to be in 2035. What's your vision? A thriving business? Financial freedom? Global impact? Write it down, break it into small daily actions, and start today. The path to billions isn't a sprint, it's a marathon, and every step counts. Let's broaden the lens. Gates' wisdom applies not just to business, but to every facet of life. In sports, athletes like Serena Williams didn't become legends by resting after their first Grand Slam. She trained harder, studied her opponents, and learned from every defeat. In music, artists like Taylor Swift, despite global fame, continue to reinvent their sound and push creative boundaries. Success didn't make them complacent. It fueled their drive to evolve. You can adopt this mindset in any field, whether you're a student, an employee, or an entrepreneur. After every win, ask, what's next? How can I grow? What's the next mountain to climb? Gates's life also reminds us that success isn't just about personal gain. After building Microsoft, he turned his focus to global challenges through his foundation. He said, "Life is not fair. Get used to it." Instead of complaining about inequality, He used his wealth and intellect to address it, funding solutions for education, health, and poverty. His work has saved millions of lives, from malaria vaccines to global education initiatives. Your success, too, can be a force for good. As you climb, think about how you can lift others. Mentor a young entrepreneur, share your knowledge, or support a cause that matters. True billionaires don't just build wealth, they build legacies that outlast them. Let's dig deeper into Gates's mindset. He's known for his ability to anticipate the future, not just react to it. In his 2015 TED Talk, he warned the world about the risk of a global pandemic years before COVID-19 struck. When the pandemic hit, his foundation didn't just watch from the sidelines. They invested billions in vaccine research, partnered with global health organizations, and pushed for equitable access to solutions. This wasn't about chasing glory. It was about learning from past failures, like the world's slow response to Ebola, and acting decisively. You can apply this foresight to your own life. What trends are shaping your industry? Are you studying them? Are you preparing for the next big shift, whether it's AI, sustainability, or a new market opportunity? Gates also teaches us the value of surrounding ourselves with people who challenge us. He said, "I choose a lazy person to do a hard job because a lazy person will find an easy way to do it." This isn't about sloth. It's about efficiency and creativity. Gates valued team members who thought differently, who pushed him to see problems from new angles. Who's in your circle? Are you surrounded by yes men who reinforce your success, or by people who question you, inspire you, and keep you sharp? Seek out those who make you uncomfortable, who force you to grow. Let's reflect on another layer of Gates's philosophy: discipline. Building Microsoft required not just vision, but relentless execution. Gates was known for his intense work ethic, often coding for days with little sleep in the early years. Yet, he also knew when to step back and delegate, trusting his team to carry the vision forward. This balance, hard work paired with strategic thinking, is what turned Microsoft into a juggernaut. In your own life, are you working hard but also working smart? Are you focusing on what truly matters, or getting lost in busy work? Gates's success came from prioritizing high-impact tasks, like perfecting Windows or negotiating key partnerships. Adopt this discipline. Identify the one or two actions each day that will move you closest to your goal and tackle them first. Now, let's talk about resilience. Gates faced countless obstacles: technical failures, legal battles, and public scrutiny. Yet, he never let them stop him. He said, "We always overestimate the change that will occur in the next 2 years and underestimate the change that will occur in the next 10. Don't let yourself be lulled into inaction." This is a call to keep moving, even when the path feels uncertain. Maybe you've hit a wall, a failed project, a rejection, or a financial setback. Don't give up. Analyze what went wrong, learn from it, and take the next step. Gates turned Microsoft's failures into fuel. You can do the same with yours. My friend, it's time to take charge of your destiny. Bill Gates has shown us that success can be a lousy teacher, but it's also a chance to reflect, grow, and push harder. Don't let your victories, big or small, make you complacent. Don't let the shine of today blind you to the dreams of tomorrow. I challenge you right now. Reflect on your most recent success. What did you achieve? Are you coasting on it, or are you hungry for more? Write down 3 ways you can improve: a skill to learn, a process to refine, a risk to take. Next, invest in yourself relentlessly. Pick up a book that challenges you. Try Atomic Habits by James Clear, or Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman, both admired by Gates. Sign up for a course on Coursera, Udemy, or Masterclass to master a new skill. Reach out to someone who inspires you, a mentor, a colleague, or even a stranger on LinkedIn whose work you admire. Finally, act immediately. Write down your biggest goal for 2035. Want to build a business empire? Achieve financial freedom? Change the world? Break it into one small step you can take today. Researching a market, drafting a plan, or making a single phone call. But don't stop there. Commit to a daily habit of growth. Spend 30 minutes reading, 10 minutes journaling your progress, or 5 minutes reaching out to someone new. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, not just those who applaud you. Look at your industry. What's the next big trend? Are you ready for it? If you're in tech, study AI. If you're in retail, explore e-commerce innovations. If you're in healthcare, dive into telemedicine. Anticipate the future like Gates did, and position yourself to lead, not follow. And as you rise, think about your legacy. How will you use your success to make a difference? Maybe it's mentoring a young dreamer, donating to a cause, or building a business that solves a real problem. Success is not the end. It's a journey. Like Bill Gates, embrace the mindset of a beginner. Always learning, always adapting, always ready for the next challenge. The road to billions, or to your greatest self, is waiting. But it only opens for those who dare to keep moving forward, no matter how many victories they've already claimed. Thank you for listening. If this story has ignited a fire in you, leave a comment sharing your biggest success and what you're doing to stay hungry and avoid complacency. Like, share, and subscribe for more inspiration from the world's greatest billionaires. I'll see you on the path to your dreams.